the cheeseburger.
Look, we're entitled to our opinions, even if we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. The middle class holes.
You know, staying on brand with the middle class holes. Your old boy's dogs are barking today. I was out in the field, put in a real 8 hours, pulled some low voltage cabling with some fellow coworkers of mine. Whew.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
All right. Managing
That's right.
the project hands on. Good for you, buddy.
Well, yeah, we were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We had their boss who doesn't do, he still does this, but he's kind of 50% at home and 50% out in the field when, someone needs some help or resources are low. He got into a ATV accident and hurt his shoulder, and this needed to get done by Friday. And I was like, look, it's in DC. It's at George Washington University. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like, just picture me as the junior of juniors, my first day on the job, and just tell me, pull that right there, make that go that way. It was okay. It was fine. I mean, it was work. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a humble man. But yeah. Oh
Yeah. Everybody feels good about being a blue collar worker for a day. Do it all week long, buddy, and then see what happens. I saw a great TikTok, like and I was thinking of like Sarah, because she of course blew out her ACL, and it was like blue collar workers are always hurt. They just adjust how they do things. And it's true. Like you hurt your knee, it's like, shit, I gotta go tomorrow. So you just put a brace on and you just limp. And then you limp for 5 years. And
Yeah.
and then after those 5 years, that's just how you walk now. It's just a never-ending cascade of bodily injuries and band-aids moving forward.
I was talking to, first of all, these two guys, they're in their 20s. There was another guy helping who had this job like 5 years ago, but he happened to be in the area. It's his wheelhouse. He came up, he owned a business as low voltage contractor, and he was like, I'll come by to supervise as well. And couple that with the fact that it's a building at George Washington University. It's like 100 some odd years old. So cable pathways weren't in the design when they started, constructing this fucking massive hall. But they're in their 20s, they're single, they enjoy traveling. They get a per diem when they travel. It's like $75 a day to eat. So if you don't spend that, you get to pocket the money. There's a prevailing wage, meaning it depends upon like labor rates of the union in the area, and they're like, this isn't forever. I obviously, but I enjoy what I do, and this is climbing my way up the economic food chain. But I don't know where I was going to go with that. Maybe that was it. Oh yeah, you talk about workplace injuries. The lead had probably went on a dozen different like falls and spills. He told me a job that I managed in New Orleans like a month ago where his head went through some drywall. And I was like, this wasn't a practical joke, was it? And he's like, you think I put my head through fucking drywall as a joke? I was like, okay, all right. My bad.
Definitely didn't grow up in Cecil County. Understood. Gotcha, buddy boy.
You don't know what a good practical joke is. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you. One day on that ladder. So I feel much like Bill Murray in Caddyshack, except my nemesis right now is two raccoons. We've got these mature grapevines that go over the pergola on our patio, which is very nice thing to be able to say.
It'd be very nice to understand what a pergola is. Sure.
It's like a.
Think of like a wooden easy up.
Oh, okay. It's like an archway, like a wooden archway with like vines growing on it.
Like a square, like literally like an easy up, but like it's like slats of wood that make the shade.
I gotcha. No, I know what you're talking about, and no offense to you, I'm not a fan because I always think, why couldn't we just put a cover on top of that? Okay, that's fine. They're beautiful. I think they're very aesthetically pleasing. But every time, just for example, they like to set up mailboxes underneath these things, and then it's pouring down rain. I'm like, oh, thanks for the framework, fellas. Could have used like maybe a piece of fiberglass or a tarpage or I don't know, some shingle work. So you've got some vines blocking the weather. Okay, continue.
Oh, no, so beginning, I'm looking at these, and it's all everything that I'm seeing in the Google Images is all residential, and it's common. It's covering like back patio furniture, an outdoor dining set. In a commercial setting, is it just that on steroids?
No, I'm talking about at the house.
Oh, okay. I thought this was at the job site.
Oh no,
All right.
work. I was trying to relate to my one day of blue collar work. So I had ordered those bird spikes. I ordered some raccoon repellent. I ordered these like perimeter alert alarms that like flash a light and send like a low or a high frequency pitch noise out that they hate. And I've like set these up around the perimeter. But I've also, part of it was like they're there to party with the grapes. Like we can't do anything with these grapes. They just look nice. And like I got to pick them all down because the dogs will get them, right? And you can't have the dogs eating grapes. But then we also can't have the fucking raccoons partying it up on the roof because they're shitting everywhere. As it gets later, into September, those grapes start fermenting and those little fuckers get drunk.
Set up a camera, start a YouTube page, buddy. What are you doing? Give them stuff to fight with. You put a knife out, those little hands will grab one. I swear, that'll be the fucking most amazing filmography in the history of man.
I can't have sweet little Shouty facing off with one of these little bastards. So I'm up there. I'm picking all these grapes. I'm setting all these little Home Alone traps up. And I'm like, I was like, man, have I been out here? I was like, oh, it's only been 3 hours. I was like, sure, I'm tired, boss.
Could use a union break.
yeah. It was a quick 5. But, I got michelada in one hand, Camel Crush in the other. Felt like I was right back in Maryland.
Yeah, listen, if you're going to be in a union, join like a state, like a county government or a state government union. We will see the guys that are driving around, the town that I work in, and it like 3, I guess they get off at like 4. So about 3:30, you will start to see the white trucks with the emblem on the side driving about 15 miles an hour everywhere around town. They will not crack 20. They are going to drive for the last thing they're going to do is going to take them 30 minutes to get there, 5 minutes to mark what needs to be done tomorrow, and another 15 minutes to drive 2 miles back to the fucking station. I always laugh and applaud at the same time. But speaking of raccoons, though, I remember I had to deliver to this guy's house, and this guy, he's obviously seen some shit probably back in the early 70s, maybe the late 60s, and he had set up a tripwire across his driveway with a 22 shell on the other end, and when you tripped it, pow! It sounded like you got shot. I thought I died one day delivering a package to this guy's door. He's like, it's for the raccoons. I was like, the raccoons, huh? He's like, yeah, the raccoons. And that was all I got from him. After I shit my pants with a 22 shell going off about, 3 feet from my fucking ear.
Hey, buddy, do you have an extra pair of underwear by chance? No worries, it's okay.
It's not for me, it's for the raccoons.
Yeah. Ones that poop themselves. You had mentioned bird spikes. Is that what you were putting up bird spikes on this pergola?
Yeah. So,
okay.
Because, I was looking, I got up on the ladder, and we even called, a pest control person out to come survey the area and give us an estimate. And of course, this estimate was almost $6,000, and it didn't even include trapping and getting rid of the raccoons. It was just to clean up the raccoon shit. Because apparently it carries roundworm and they have special chemicals. And I was like, I've got bleach and boiling water. So,
yeah.
Well, an easy raccoon trap, because they want to grab shiny objects, you ball up a piece of foil and you put it through a hole that they can only reach into, but if they make a fist, they can't reach out. They'll stay there yelling, screaming, hissing at you because they won't let go of what's in their hand. And then you just put a trash can over top of them and scoop them away.
Wow. Look at that. See, for the cost of aluminum foil and a rubber trash can, God, you had years worth of entertainment. Years.
Yeah. They'll reach in, they'll grab, and they'll go, and just scream at you because they want their little fucking shiny ball.
Well, the reason I brought up the bird
lesson
spikes
for us all.
That's right. God, I got to see this. I'm going to tee one up on YouTube. We could do an impromptu break it down if you want. Um, our legal counsel who lives in New York City. Murr, have you ever been to his apartment?
No. The only time we stayed in that multi-million-dollar fucking
Yeah.
like whatever that thing was, like when we went to the so I've never seen where our legal counsel actually resides.
Yeah, that was a bit of the taste of the finer things. Our legal counsel's cousin married into extreme wealth, and her father-in-law owned multiple brownstones on 88th Street, and we got to stay the night in one 5-bedroomer. I was like, man, this is New York. This is pretty good. It's pretty nice.
I could do New York.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Figure this out. So
Yeah, me and
What's so bad about this place?
old Remy Jolin were like, listen, we're sleeping together. You know that, right? Like, it's fine. So yeah, we shared a bed in a multi-million-dollar building. Yes.
So Adam, he has two. I want to say it's 2 or 3 windows that go out to. It's not okay. It's not a balcony. You can stand on it if you want to tempt fate. It's a structure. But he has tried because apparently they had pigeon and bird problems for a long time, and it's basically anywhere a bird could land, you have to put bird strips or bird spikes. And it's so polluted with bird. It looks like a World War One trench. It is absolutely. I was like, damn, dude. Like, is there any concrete to be seen out here? He's like, those fuckers, they get everywhere. They get everywhere. I spent hundreds of dollars on those things. It's like, God damn, good for you, I guess.
I got the low pros. I got the low profile Johns. They're actually sharp plastic because I wasn't going to pay the extra for steel to. I don't want to hurt these fuckers. I just want them gone. So it's like sharp. They're sharp conical strips, and I just put them up on top. And because you could see where they were hanging out by where they were shitting, and I'm like tap tap tap, tap or screw gun, and they don't chill there anymore. And grape season's almost over. You don't know about legendary. Actually, we do have a wine region here in Colorado. So
really?
The Western Slope. Yeah, I've been here 12 years. I've never been out there.
Have you dabbled in the wine? Any good? Anything worth noting?
Here in Colorado, yeah, there's some decent red blends. Also, well-known lavender region over on the Western Slope, but it's it's kind of like how they can grow wine in Virginia. It's like it gets a lot of sun. It's just big and open, and then I'll say things like terroir to sound like I know what I'm saying. But the earth out there is supposed to be good on the other side of the Rockies. It's high of elevation. It's decent wine.
Just go burn that lavender field to the ground. I don't think does anybody really like the smell of lavender? I mean, it's a nice color. Yeah. Why? It's like the cilantro of smells. You
don't like cilantro?
No, I mean I like cilantro more than I like lavender. Lavender's got like some weird like perfumey thing that just stays in your fucking sinuses for too long. It's just I feel like it's one of those things that some guy was like, we got to convince people this shit smells good. And then mission accomplished, great marketing campaign, and then just grew lavender everywhere. Fucking asshole.
There you have it. Well, if you have any good bird spike stories, email us at tickleourtummies@gmail.com. Let us know how that construction went. Middle class holes, everyone. Foxman Murr, old Raleigh joining us tonight. So I know we're all Orioles fans, and I don't like to turn this into an Orioles podcast, but sometimes it lends itself to bigger and better discussions. I was at the Orioles game last night. I was sitting in left field. I saw Pete Alonso hit the home run. I went ape shit. The guy behind me damn near wore about 4 ounces of my beer. Good thing it was in a can. And then what proceeded after that, or soon thereafter, was a shit show by Major League Baseball. An absolute fucking shit show. All home runs are reviewed, so you don't have to throw a challenge. You don't have to piss away a challenge. It's a compliment or a complimentary breakfast served to you by Major League Baseball. How the fuck did they get that wrong?
I wanted to ask you guys the same question because it's obviously the decision in my mind is a political decision, and I will give you the floor and I'll come back to you.
It's unfortunately we're in this era where everything is, everybody's like, oh, what's up with that? And like the last 2-3 seasons of football, everybody's been like, oh, it's rigged. And the NBA, everybody's been complaining about that since we were young watching the NBA. And lo and behold, there was an actual scandal with the refs, right? So it's like nobody, and everything going on in government and around the world, nobody trusts anything anymore. And like we're seeing like people lie to our face every day. It's like, come on, like get this call right. This is a very obvious thing. Like you can't play it just because it's what are we doing a Yankees thing? Are we doing a political thing for the Yankees? Like who's on the Yankees these days?
Mine comes down to, of course, the reason you can't get rid of umpires and these guys is because they're in a union and they don't like to rat on each other. And it's like, oh, Billy Bob over there, he said it was a foul ball. And even though the camera says it was fair, we got to stick by Billy Bob because this wasn't an official team challenge. This is we look at it a few times, we talk about it, and we stick by our guys. And that's the political call. That's the one I'm getting at. It's like, because there's no way.
Okay, I didn't think of that.
There's no way they get on the phone to, like, New York and, like, all right, you guys looking at the same thing we're seeing? Yeah, New York's not making the call. This is a call by the referees and umpires on the field, and they're like, well, I got to stick by Billy because our dues are coming up tomorrow, and so he made that call. We stick by it. Because here was my thing. If it went, like, over the foul pole, and it was like that, technically.
Could have gone either way. You're not sure. Yeah.
Visually, but no, it was literally to the fair side of the fucking pole. They showed a replay right down the third base fucking line. And it's like, and the commentators are sitting there like, oh yeah, cool, awesome, yeah, 30th home run. And it's like, Gonfield stands. Like, what? How?
Right. And again, if this is a political statement by, like, say, by the refs to be like, you need us, right? You can't replace us with, video and replays and all that, or the booth, right? Still, that's an obvious call to make, like, or a dumb way to make a statement. Thousands of people watching live, thousands of people watching at home. Like, this isn't like a maybe, like you said, like it's blatant.
Yeah. Now it was audacious. I mean, sitting where I was. Yankee fans even around me being like, wow, they're not going to overturn this? This is taking a long time. I mean, that's pretty fucking obvious. I mean, it gets to back, okay, we have the technology to make the right call. I want to say, it's not all the time, but I'm going to say about 99 point, throw whatever decimal you want after that, or whatever numerical value after that decimal point. Because, again, there are some times where, tie goes to the runner, or was he down, or did he make a football move, or things like that. But I equate it to NFL challenges. Okay. They said, hey, you know what? Coaches and teams and general managers, we're going to give you the ability to challenge pass interference, but it comes with a caveat. We're never going to change the call, but we can still challenge it, right? Yep. You can still challenge it. You can, but we're never going to change it because the call still stands. And that got introduced because of that NFC Championship game, right? Was it the
Saints?
Saints game. Yeah. And it was like, wait a minute, that's a pass interference. If you're not going to change it on that, what's the purpose of the call, or the purpose of the challenge, which happened last night before our eyes. Now, look, it's a game in August that probably is going to be chalked up as relatively inconsequential, but I think there's the bigger picture is, if we can get it right, why the fuck are we doing this? Why are we sitting around? That took like 3 minutes for those guys to, with their thumbs up their butt, when they knew they weren't going to change it.
But I disagree with the importance of the game because, the Orioles one game out of, wild card contention. The Yankees are at the top spot of it.
I said maybe. I said maybe, possibly inconsequential. Probably, I actually said.
And so, it comes down to, this is what I don't understand. Like, it's dumb people making dumb decisions. And I feel like if a group of umpires make that call, then Major League Baseball should have a meeting the very next day because like O'Reilly's saying, they're gaslighting us. Like, why are you doing that? Because if you don't want all this replay, why are you making a decision that says we should have replay? Why, if you don't want me to be replaced, why are you making replaceable calls? Because I do think it's that that good old boy system of, well, we don't want to overturn one of our own. We don't want to show him up. It's like, yeah, but then you show up all the guys on the field that are making the calls by sticking up for the one guy who fucked up. That was a reasonable fuck up, is what I'm like.
Sure.
Okay, if you're standing literally from an angle, I don't know, 10 degrees to the foul side of the pole, it probably looked like a foul ball. Fine, make the call. You're right. From your angle. Look at it again. Oh, I had the wrong angle. My bad.
Right.
Do they like? Okay.
It's a system.
I was trying to like track this in my mind. Do extra points and field goals get fucked up ever?
Like, what do you mean? Because
there are instances where the ball is traveling high enough on a shorter field goal where it goes like pretty much over the foul or the pylon or not pylon
upright
upright extension, and you don't have a laser or some sort of apparatus to detect whether or not it did go inside or out. But how often does that happen? And two, I just don't think I recall, maybe once it was Tucker had that game winner against the Patriots and Belichick thought it was a missed field goal and came out and got in the ref's face. That's one that I could think of in thousands and thousands of these attempts. And this home run call last night was pretty fucking easy to get.
Well, I will say, at least in football, like the refs are standing like directly underneath. You know what I mean? They're looking straight up, and as long as they're actually, paying attention, unlike a few of our fine men in blue in Major League Baseball, then they generally get it right. There's, and because I think the one with Tucker was like it was over top, like literally coming straight overhead, and they were like, well. I'm thinking John Madden speaking in my head. Well, it was more of the football this side or this side. If it was more of this side, it's good. If it's more of this side, it's not good. And so it's kind of a judgment call at that point. And you can understand at that point, though, if they call it one way or the other. This is just like, did ball go this side or this side? Didn't even hit it. It literally went to the proper side.
Yeah,
Fucked up, man.
I major bungle, and obviously, yes, we are Orioles fans, but and so sure, more upset than you would be. But I think this greater discussion about you're trying to have it one way to defend your boys, but that's actually it's making it worse. It's making it worse, and nobody likes the refs anyway. This isn't going to help.
No, and this was a national story because I saw tons of videos today. One, we were sitting here calling it an Orioles game, but we know as well as anybody else it was a Yankees game, so it gives it a little more clout.
Look, the three together, it's an Orioles game.
And it was just so egregious that like it's unavoidable. Like it has to be discussed. So like we're not even like the outlier on this thing. This is just basically this is of the day. So don't stop it's the same thing with the WNBA right now, by the way. Like, why are the referees becoming the storylines of any game ever? It just seems like in recent years, NFL, WNBA, I'll give the NBA referees some credit. They kind of started minding their P's and Q's ever since they almost destroyed a multi-billion-dollar organization with their fucking shenanigans behind the scenes. But everybody else seems to be fucking up left and right and making the storyline about the officiating and not about the fucking game.
Yeah. The best refs, the best officials. I always, as a boxing fan, the best refs are the ones that are inconsequential. There's no story about them with an early stoppage or a point deduction or something like that. That's egregious. So anyway, it was a bummer. It was a piss. Hey, we're gonna get to this. O'Reilly, I don't even have to cut this from the podcast. You want to shift a little bit to your right?
Sure.
We got to get you center.
Oh, the OCD in this one up here.
A little to your left.
A little.
Yeah, just a tick. Right there.
There you
yeah.
are.
Voila.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
Right here?
All
It'll
right.
make
Now-
editing
Still hear
so
me?
much easier. That's right. Yes, you're right there. That's good. You split the uprights with this one. Oh, all right. So this came in, man. I want to say a week too late. It was just early on in the week. And for those of you who have any inkling of what goes on in the world, you probably heard of this. But Burr, I think within 15 seconds of me finding this, I was like, oh, okay. I'm sending it to him.
Yeah.
I'm sending it to him.
I was actually reading the story on the shitter at work when you texted it to me. I was and that's why I was able to send you back the picture of who I would just throw in as the ringleader, because I don't know what this guy's ethnicity is. He's not 100% white. He's got a very Puerto Rican kind of curly hair. Yeah, a little lighter skin than you, O'Ral, but definitely looks like he could either be in a Goodfellas movie or starring in something in South Central Los Angeles. But he looks like the guy that you would just pin the whole operation on, and they should.
I think who you're talking about is Agostino Abatiello.
That sounds about right.
And his good friend Thomas Robinson. Two Penn State universities are the center of a cocaine trafficking ring bust, leading to charges against 14 people, authorities announced on Monday. According to Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, the cocaine was cut and packaged primarily at the Delta Upsilon and Sigma Chi fraternity houses before it was distributed mostly to other Penn State students. So two Penn State fraternities working in cahoots, which is that's weird to me, but I guess when there's money and drugs involved, you'll kick down a few borders to work together. By the way, Delta Upsilon, McGinney, that name rings true. We attempted to become a DU
Maybe.
DU chapter many moons ago. 13 people were charged, were Penn State students added around the time of the alleged drug trafficking ring from 2023 to 2024. Prosecutor said the 14th defendant, Thomas Robinson's father, is accused of trying to conceal evidence and obstruct the investigation. So the dad caught wind of it and was like, hey, man, I got to protect my baby boy. The plot goes on and on. The one thing is they involve the pledges, which came to a shock of some people. Listen, folks, pledges do the dirty work.
Yeah.
You want to earn these letters? You want to earn these letters?
That shocked me in no way. Like, in no way at all, because and as somebody who never joined and just witnessed the debauchery that was occurring around me, I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, because part of it, the deniability too, because once they become brothers, then you can decide whether they're cool or not. And you could just tell them, like, that was all flour, guys. We wanted to see if anybody would rat us out, and none of you are rats. And we love you, we appreciate you, and we're glad to welcome you into the brotherhood of Delta, Delta, Delta.
Try Delta. Sorority.
Lambda, lambda, lambda.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah. And Omega Mu. To your point, yeah, or were they letting these guys in on it like week one? Or is this more of like a Hell Week sort of thing? Or like, you know, like it's pretty, I don't know, trustworthy?
Or is
give
coke just so prevalent is coke just everywhere at, a school like Penn State that, like, everyone's like, cool, you mean we get to keep some of this too? Yeah, all right. I'll do whatever you want.
I think it was probably, to answer your question, O'Reilly, I think it was more of like a salesman type thing. Like, you hit your number, you're in. You all don't get in at the same time. You hit
like
that
Girl Scout
10K
cookies?
profit. Yeah, that's right.
Fundraising is a very important part of philanthropy. It's a very, very important part, and you're learning sales, you're fluffing that resume, getting ready for Wall Street. They're getting real world experience out here. There's all kinds of, what do they call it, a practicum, self study.
I took away two major things from this news story. One, it just goes to show you that the profitability and, let's be honest, fun that comes along with the drug of cocaine, that two fraternities were willing to work in
set
unison.
aside their differences.
That's right. That's right. It's such a highly territorial thing, such as Greek life.
Yeah.
And O'Reilly, you and I were in the same fraternity. We partied with other fraternities together, but when it came time to, like, I don't know, rub shoulders and collectively do something as a unit? No, God, I don't have
not a
anything to
chance.
do with those guys. Listen, come to our house parties. We'll come to yours. We'll see each other at the bar. We'll cheers, yada yada. We're probably Eskimo brothers at some point. No big deal. Secondly, they're
A little bit of tension at all times. You know,
always.
We're faster at drinking a trash can of beer than you.
That's right. The street cred. I barfed 4 times last night. How about you, buddy? The second thing is, like,
You guys have the party. We'll host the afters. We'll switch next week. The late night.
You get into a situation. Okay, Penn State. I don't know what their undergrad is. I gotta assume it's north of 30,000. Okay, a state school like that, you have a ton of people from out of state who are paying out of state tuition. There's a lot of money involved. Come on, folks. Listen, I'm not saying these people didn't need to be arrested. I'm not saying that these people don't need to be prosecuted. You did bad things. You paid the consequences. But cocaine in college, are we that shocked? Are we that shocked?
Especially after they've started to put the squeeze on Adderall. You want these kids to fucking pass their exams or not? You know, you want GPAs or not? By the way, the latest on it came out today is the reason they were able to avoid any suspicion for so long. They weren't accepting cash. They were accepting Cash App and Venmo and all the electronic payment plans. And so they weren't able to. But they weren't able to find because there was no cash being exchanged. Like the only thing they
pizza.
Yes, the only thing they were running
the old 4 a.m. book rental.
And look, I see the picture looking back at me in the old screen right here. They weren't exactly matching a profile of high-level fucking drug dealing in America.
You got sophomores and, you know.
No, you got white boys at a white boy college going around doing, slanging some shit. And I text Wes back after he sent it to me, sometimes they, what do you want to call it? Protest groups, they pick the wrong subject matter or they're grasping at straws for why this is an injustice. If I was any organization that protects the rights of people of color, I am going to this trial every day. You know how many people of color have been put in jail for life for cocaine distribution? And now you've got some Penn State white boys up here doing the same thing. So this is going to do one of two things. This is either going to cause a civil war on the East Coast, or it's going to reform drug laws in America. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow we legalize cocaine because this story is going to get so big. And like Wes said, cocaine on the college campus? What did you expect? That's
Comrade Murr.
I'm just saying, man. Like, I can smell the fucking tea leaves in the air. I don't have to look at the cup to read them. You know what I mean? Like, this is how these things go, and I get it. And it's probably going to be an injustice.
I don't think the shock was so much the cocaine on the college campus. I think the shock was the assembly line and workforce that was put into the organization. Goodfellas, that guy bought his wife a fur coat. So, somebody's probably buying girls Uggs left and right, and they're getting a little flashy, too many quarter zips on the quad. People are looking. You monogrammed that polo? So must be going good over there. I think update, did you guys hear they were selling to one of the athletic directors or somebody who worked?
Shocked. Again, shocked.
Let me also 42,822 undergrad on the main campus. So not a small population.
44,000.
Almost 43,000.
Gotcha. Yeah. That also doesn't include grad students. Let's be honest. 1 year after post-grad, you don't give up everything that's fun.
And not only that, they were also they were driving up to New York to sell some, and they were also driving down to Philly to sell some. So if you just look at campus, let's just say a third of those.
Probably go to Altoona. They're going to the other smaller campuses. Yeah.
All the satellite schools.
Yeah. You got. But right there in your own backyard, you probably got about 15,000 people who were wanting to buy cocaine from you on campus, and then you travel outside of that. I mean, the organization of it, if I was the attorney for these guys, the first thing I would say is, how many fentanyl deaths did we have at Penn State during their time in operation? And you know what I mean? Like, these kids were getting bad drugs that were coming up from south of the border because Joe Biden couldn't close it. And you know what was coming in. And these boys decided they were going to save their friends' lives by manufacturing pure Colombian marching powder in the basements of their fraternity houses to save lives, not to make money. Yes, money was a consequence of their actions, but it was not the reason they started this in the first place. You should look at your own morality in the mirror before you judge ours.
Yeah.
To quote one of our favorite legendary movies, Animal House, we need the dues.
I was going to do a hyperbolic Johnny Cochran and say, if the bill don't fit, you must acquit. Up your nose, of course. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. This is, by the way, I found this particular tidbit to be funny. There were other names outside of Agostino and Thomas Robinson, also a Mohammed Harabi and a Lars Zeepfat, who are also have felony charges, including corruption of organization, conspiracy, and dealing in proceeds and unlawful activity, yada yada. But that's not the tidbit I wanted to get at.
These boys on Rico.
Delta Upsilon has been placed on interim suspension, of course. Soon to be permanent, or I don't know, some sort of probationary suspension. Kind of depends upon how much money they want to give the university. This one I found funny. Penn State does not recognize Sigma Chi as an organization and operates outside the university's oversight. McGinney, we have experience with that. Our organization, or drinking club, acted outside of Frostburg State's
social,
yeah,
Buena Vista Social Club.
We called ourselves a bowling club.
The bowling team.
So, to backtrack a little bit on what I said for two fraternities acting in cahoots in this, it was one, and they were like, hey, redheaded stepchild, no one gives a shit about you. Do you want to get in on this? Yeah.
Oh, so they had like 3 levels of plausible deniability. We get the unofficials, and then we get the pledges involved.
Yeah.
All right, one of these kids is going to end up using this as his thesis for his, business degree. The names have been changed to protect victims, but somebody's going to use this, and Wolf of Wall Street himself right up there.
I do want to see the final numbers after the DEA finally tallies everything up and figures out what all the code words and the Venmos actually stood for. I feel bad for Dad in this situation because obviously Dad figured it out. What are you going to do? I mean, seriously, what are you going to do? You're the dad. You going to turn in your son and everyone he knows and the entire, everyone's college career being completely kaput? What are you going to do? I mean, I'd like to see what actions he took. Did he start helping them? Or did he start saying, let's wind this thing down, buddy? I
think he just started snorting it all.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. This is an interesting aspect I had not thought of. Is he like the dad in Blow? Is he, does he just want his son to be happy? Right? Does he just want to help his son, no matter how awful that mother was from Blow? R.I.P. Ray Liotta. Or was it like a cover-up dad? Was it like a high-powered lawyer or somebody in government dad who's like, I'm going to take care of you boys, don't worry?
Yeah, or was it hey, you fellas are going to get fucking caught, so I know you can't just stop everything right now, so let's start making the operation smaller and you're going to graduate soon, so let's get it down to where you're not involved anymore and just move on with fucking life. I don't know. I guess we'll find all of these things
Dad's
out.
Dad's a co-conspirator at that point.
Yeah, sure, but he unless he turns him in, he's a co-conspirator unless he literally contacts the DEA or the FBI and says what's going on. And I don't think I could do that. I honestly, I think that's something you got to take before a jury and let them decide. Because, by the way, a quick side note, let's get right back to this though. I did see that a jury, I can't remember where they were, but some guy was red-handed cutting down flock cameras, and grand jury just said, no, we're not prosecuting this guy. Yeah, yeah, beautiful thing. But anyway,
We couldn't have done the same for Luigi.
no, you can't do that for murder. I'm sorry, it's not. Yeah, um, no, but but back to the legalization thing. These kids couldn't have operated like this if you had to buy your drugs from a drugstore. Do you see how easy it is for the criminal element to get wealthy behind closed doors without any supervision or taxes or anything? This is how quick it goes. And it's a beautiful operation. Think about you've got these kids. I just think about the image in my head came down to Fight Club when they're making the soap. Just a bunch of dudes day and night in a basement, taking shifts, going to class, bagging up coke, fucking cutting, shaving, sifting, moving, money. God, it's beautiful.
Probably wearing the same black sweatsuit. Yeah, on that legalization tip, it's at some point it's going to be lame, right? It's go to the store and get it, like cigs. Kids will find it lame eventually, I guess. Maybe not, probably not. But we saw that in when I first moved here to Denver, Colorado. I was living in the burbs, taking the train into the city and or light rail into the city, and some guy came up to me at the light rail station and he's like, "You want to buy some weed?" And I was like, he's like, "Yeah." I go, "Bud, we're in Denver. There's corner stores to go and get this. I'm not going to buy from some dude at the train station. Are you kidding me?" Not that I'm even a weed guy. But I was like, go to what your options are. Go to a store where you have a bud tender, lay everything out. And they're like, "What are you looking for today? Can we give you the Egyptian musk or the, grape Skittles, fruity pebbles?" Or old Frankie at the train station with the backpack. "Hey, come here, guy."
Yeah.
No, you're going to go to the store.
Or some kid, or a fraternity brother on Penn State, someone you might know.
Yeah. That's a nice quarter zip. Yeah, I trust that guy.
A trusted resource. No, I've thought about this a lot, if we're worried about, the poisoning of people and fentanyl and worried about continuing to fund drug cartels, people who are bad that like guns and like to shoot people for profit, why not take all the power away from them? And how embarrassed. There's probably college kids that would still want to do cocaine, but would be very embarrassed to go to Walgreens to get it. So they probably just wouldn't do it anymore. Or they've got an allotment and they can't get wrapped up in it anymore. And there's definitely no fentanyl in it because there's a pharmacist fucking working night and day to keep the supply up in the stock room.
Yeah. I almost want to see, I want to see 5 years from now, a movie come out where it shows the grassroots of this. You know what I mean? It's one guy at the fraternity house doing it and dealing a little bit. And you're like, "Man, this is really good. You should sell this." Yeah. Yeah. Then he cuts a profit, and then everyone else wants in, and everyone else wants in. And before you know it, they've gotten in over your heads. This is what it is. It's 21, 22, 20-year-olds just biting off more than they could chew, in my opinion.
Could be a
it sucks.
Could be a good montage.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the dad of the dad that we had spoken about is the father of Thomas Robinson, of course, not the other ones. Old Thomas Robinson's dad was like, I got a reputation to uphold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it makes me wonder too, how much you making? So this student loan's gonna be paid off last week?
Right.
All right.
So not moving into this basement.
Oh, well, I guess that we're going to wrap that bit up. Murr, listen, I had a long day. My feet hurt. I want to get smarter. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
All right, let's get to it. These are your 5 fun facts about the 5 most expensive hoaxes in the world. So let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you on a Friday, brought to you, of course, by our very many sponsors. You've got the Flat Earth Science Advocates for Truth. Find them on Facebook, along with the Shin Splints Recovery Group. You got any pain below the knee and above that ankle, get yourself on that Shin Splints Recovery Group. And, of course, our great friend, the Cuckster. That's Cuckster for life. Cuckster for life on both TikTok and Instagram. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you on a Friday. Did you know Victor Lustig sold the Eiffel Tower itself in 1925? He posed as a French official, claimed the government was scrapping it for metal, and pocketed about 75,000 francs from a scrap dealer who paid a bribe to seal the deal. He pulled the same trick a second time before getting caught a third time.
Damn. So he posed as the Eiffel Tower's owner and sold it to a scrap metal place for 75,000, whatever the French denomination is. Yeah.
He kept going to people claiming that they were pulling the tower down, because I think it was built for like a World's Fair, and it was never actually intended to be a permanent structure. It's like, so it's like, oh, sacre bleu, they bring it down, they give you metal. And they were like, so somebody actually, not only were they going to pay him for the metal, they paid him a bribe to get the exclusive rights to the metal, which he pocketed and somehow got away with because they didn't have flock cameras in France in fucking 1925. And then he did it again. And then he tried it one more time, and third time was the charm, unfortunately.
I love the idea of like the Metal Man, but in Paris, you know, like 3-legged donkey, one ear, just grabbing, bits of fence, old swords and shields. Like, I don't know, what year was this?
1925. But no, that's so true, because the only like skeezy like metal men I think of are like the guys who worked like in the back of like Andrew Carnegie's like metal shops. Like, you want some scrap iron? I got it for yous. You know what I mean? Like the American scumbag.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
French,
as a gentleman and 2 gentlemen, one who lives in Baltimore, one who lives around Baltimore. I'm talking about the scrap collectors, and we've got them out here too. The junk man. But just a like French version.
Yeah, like wearing a beret, smoking a Parliament, one eye.
Yeah. Taking ship parts. I don't know.
By the way, this reminds me.
This was 1925?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's post World War One. The checks and balances were still kind of being sorted out.
Yeah, it's bigger fish to fry.
This remind me of there was a guy here in Baltimore for Ravens games. He cut a deadbolt for an open lot, and then threw on a security vest and was having people park for $40 a pop. All the cars got towed.
Oh,
yeah, every single
I'd be
car
so
got
fucking
yanked.
pissed.
Yeah, God, I'd be livid.
Kicker, he was the tow truck driver.
Oh yeah, double dipping.
It's probably his cousin Ronnie.
It's because tow truck drivers are so skeevy. I wouldn't fucking put it past them. But by the way, McGinney, we've talked about this numerous times on the podcast. Have you ever seen a guy who designed what he thought was going to be like a flying bird suit jump off the Eiffel Tower?
No.
Yeah.
But, so he did a homemade wingsuit?
Yes.
Yeah, he said, and then he convinced people. He died. He
Yes.
died, and there's film of it, and it's from like 1903.
No, I think it might be even from like late 1800s. There was some guy trying to move a steady hand, trying to capture fucking film. Yeah.
Oh, so an actual like wingsuit, not like somebody's like, oh, I found this old nylon, I'm gonna make one of the squirrel suits like today, like when people actually like do that shit.
Have you ever seen like the original black and white TV Batman? That's what this guy looked like. It was just, and he holds his arms out, and you would think there would be a moment. Here you go. There might even be a moment of glide. There's no moment of glide.
Oh, so it's like that's a robe.
Yeah, it's multiple robes. Ric Flair would be proud. Here's the ground video.
It's the sleeve of the wizard.
Yeah, and you can even the video. The photos don't do it justice. The video, Murray, I've showed you. Remember, he kind of looked over. He's like, "Oh, I think I made a mistake."
Yes.
Well, all the press is here. Better give it a go. And he died.
No, it's a lot like Evel Knievel before he tried to jump Snake River, or the Snake Canyon. He literally is like, "Fuck it." All these people showed up, like almost like I don't have a choice. Like, no, Evil, you have a choice. don't
More
have
like
to
Wile
pull
E.
that fucking lever.
Coyote.
Yeah. No, Evil
Yeah.
Knievel. There's like they were filming a documentary about it while he was doing it, and he's like, I don't know, man, this ain't gonna work, but fuck it, they're all here, I'm gonna go. It's like, Jesus Christ, and then decides to break every fucking bone in his body for shits and
Oh,
giggles.
shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I'm more of a Super Dave Osborne kind of guy.
I had you coined as a Spanky Spangler guy. That's fine.
Well, did you know Alves de Reis in Portugal, also in 1925, he forged documents to convince a top London printer to produce 200,000 genuine 500 escudo banknotes. He dumped them into the economy, which was nearly 1% of the country's GOP, and nearly wrecked the entire banking system.
I just feel like back in the day, we'll include 1925 and back in the day, like this was like prime time for like hoaxsters and hucksters and scammers and snake oil salesmen, because like all you had to do was go 100 miles away and nobody's ever heard of you. You pull the same thing again. Like, you don't even have to be like a Frank Abagnale to like do it. You just be like, oh yeah, this old tower is mine, right? Like, oh, these banknotes, very real. Like,
To almost crash a banking system.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Dumping 1% of an entire country's GDP into inflation. I don't even know what the percentage of inflation that would cause. And it makes me wonder what exactly the hoax was, though. I mean, obviously part of the hoax is he convincing someone to actually print real money to dump into the market, but was he betting on like the crash of an economy, or like, I'll sell everything now that I own, and then when this falls apart, I'll be the richest man in town. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought he was just making bills and circulating more bills for more people. I thought it was like a Robin Hood situation. Yeah, here's a couple thousand, here's a couple thousand. And I can't imagine 1925, things are real tight around the Portugal mint, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Say,
But
excuse me. Oh boy, natural light coming out.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the checks and balances on that end are probably a little loose.
But like, you bring up something I've always fantasized about, McGinty, not in a weird sexual way, but like imagine like somebody like somebody like David Blaine ended up on North Sentinel Island and performing his magic. Like, all of a sudden he is the leader of the nation. You know what I mean? Imagine now you're like, no, but like 1925, and maybe thinking of like, what's the Christopher Nolan movie with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, the magician thing, The Prestige. Like,
love it.
Imagine you had like a twin brother and you are like a snake oil salesman, and like one of you had like some bad acne and one of you didn't. Like, just rub this on this man right here. And look, instantaneously, and a big puff of smoke goes off. He's cured! Imagine the money you would fucking make, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
speaking of cocaine, I think, most of those snake oils were mostly cocaine and high-proof alcohol.
You're kind of thinking of like, what was it? There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like ruining an entire nation's economy or their currency, but that was a lot of that was built on semi-lies, right? I can get oil right here, right in your backyard.
I will drink your milkshake.
It's a real feel-good movie, I tell you.
Showing up to someone's
like,
1920s bowling alley that they built in their house.
I was like, what I haven't, like, this was a while ago. I was like, what I haven't seen in a while? There Will Be Blood. Amazing actors, amazing movie. Let's throw this on. Watch some nice cinema. Halfway through, I'm just like, blanket wrapped around me. Like, things are rough.
Yeah.
Not a feel-good story.
There's some movies you gotta be in a mood for, and that's not always one of them.
It's a mood ruiner.
Did you know Gregor McGregor, real name, and the
that was so good.
Connor's grandfather?
Yeah. Gregor McGregor. God. Gregor McGregor and the Poya scheme of the 1820s. He invented a whole fictional country in Central America, sold land grants and bonds to investors, and even sent settlers down who found nothing but jungle and disease.
Oh my God, dude. Again,
all right.
Back in the day, you could kind of just do whatever you wanted. And like people were like, I don't know, this guy sounds trustworthy. Like,
Yeah. This is like, okay,
I
hold
feel
on.
like we clean up back then.
Yeah, I'd like to focus on the idea of inventing a country. that right there is the real meat and potatoes of this. Like, I mean, okay. Again, we're talking about trustworthiness, people ignorant, lack of communication, in an era where people were constantly being scammed due to lack of communication and information. But like, hey, I have this country in Central America. Yeah? Go on. And, no one follows
What's Central America?
Yeah, that's right. Huh?
You mean Ohio?
Kind of.
Kind of, but they don't speak the language, if you know what I mean.
Good for him. That's a good one. This is a good one.
That's a double whammy.
I mean,
it's similar to the guy who sells plots of land on the moon. But at least everybody knows that the moon's not really, it's just a fun kind of thing.
Let's bring it up to modern times. Like that, the plot on the moon, the somebody's like, oh, I got you a star for your birthday. Like, who's in charge of those scams? Also, good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
Be the first one to think of that.
But at least they're transparent about it. I mean, my favorite one, which is apparently actually legit, is you can buy like a 1 foot by 1 foot square of land in Scotland to become a lord. So
I remember those commercials on podcasts. Did that turn out to be real?
yeah, apparently there's some guy that just owns like a huge, like a bunch of farmland. It's like, yeah, sure, you can own a 1 square foot of my fucking property because no one's gonna go claim it. You know what I mean? But by owning land in Scotland, you become a lady or a lord. So it's a fun title just to have, and that's cool.
That's a movie in the works too, right? Like some asshole from fucking Big Knuckle, Arkansas shows up to claim his fucking square.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because my parents did the whole family a solid like years ago, and we all have our grave plots already. And my thought process is, well, don't we kind of own the land? Like, don't I have like a 6 foot by 4 foot plot out in this cemetery? So can I go sell hot dogs in the summer? Like, just set up a fucking cart.
Just raging the lot.
Yeah, because I think they do the church softball games like right out there. So like, why not just go set up like a hot dog stand and like, do you have a permit? I don't need one.
These hot dogs are to die for.
I missed the last probably 45 seconds of communication. My headphones just went kaput, so had to switch them.
I'm setting up a hot dog stand. On my grave plot that my family already owns out in West Nottingham.
Nice.
I think you only get the under the ground. You don't get the surface level.
Ooh, okay. All right. We'll have to work out the details, but
police system, roll the dogs up.
I'm no McGregor.
By the way, you want to talk about like, and this is even like an ultimate scam. Sarah and I put in an offer on a house that has what is known as ground rent.
Ground rent?
So you own the property, but the ground that it lays on is still entrusted to the old UK.
Wait, the United Kingdom still owns the land that your house will be on?
Yeah. Now it's
Wait, so are you a sovereign nation?
Possibly. I don't know. It's $66 a year, or you can just buy it out when you pay for the house.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
We're gonna buy it out. It's like $1,000.
Okay,
You get diplomatic immunity?
I was gonna say, yeah. Are you squatting in the UK somehow?
Yeah. Got dual
That would be a
citizenship?
good band name.
Squatting in the UK. No, that's in Russia where they do that.
All right, you have to hold tight with me on this one because old Grok threw me for several loops on Han Vermeeren. So, did you know Han van Meegeren in the 1930s and 40s painted Frank Vermeers? If you don't know, Vermeers was the Dutch painter from the 1600s who created Girl with the Pearl Earring. Meegeren painted fakes so convincingly that museums bought his artwork, but so did Hermann Göring. Unfortunately for him, if you sell a national treasure to a Nazi, you get put to death after World War II. He made millions of dollars, but he had to prove his innocence. So, in order to do so, he was forced to paint live in court to prove that he was capable of the forgeries, which he did, and he did not hang by the neck.
Yeah, when you're doing what you love, you never work a day in your life, I guess, right?
Forging paintings. I gotta hand it to him though. You know, when you're underneath the microscope or the crosshairs, or in this case, some sort of noose around the neck, and you can perform, or don't get stage fright. And
I got to keep those brush strokes straight.
Yeah,
and you rock out and perform before a judge and jury, and save your life, huh, man.
yeah, because I mean, I think what people don't realize too is, especially like during like World War II, like all this art was just getting, people were grabbing it and just shoving it in places so it didn't get destroyed. And then Homeboy's like, Apparently, Vermeer's only painted like 36 paintings his entire life, so they're super valuable. And so the fact that he was able to be like, yeah, this one was in a church down the road. It was Bob. I've got it. Would you like to buy it? And yeah, unfortunately, he sold it to a Nazi himself and almost met his own demise.
Again, I think we're talking about back in the day when you could scheme, scam, scallywag everybody around. You got to roll with the punches, and you gotta take your licks when it happens. So it's like, you want to make some easy money off fake paintings? You're gonna have to risk a hanging now and then.
But I think of the inspiration, like the great painters, especially like during the Enlightenment and everything, they had to like feel inside their bones in order to create these artworks. I mean, yes, you're right. Being executed for crimes against humanity is pretty inspirational. But like in your jail cell, like, and you're like, all right, what am I painting for these fuckers today? You can't. Girl with the earring, man behind bars. Like, what are you painting? And like, to be able to do it at the highest level in order to like save your ass, like that's almost more impressive. That's more impressive than like conning people out of millions of dollars.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me this painting behind me isn't the original one done by Tommy DeVito's mom? That's not the one from Goodfellas? God. I want to sue.
It's beautiful either way. And finally, and I think this is my favorite one of the bunch here. Did you know Cardiff Giant, his real name, in 1869? Oh, shit. I fucked up. Start over. Here we go. Did you know George Hall carved a 10-foot petrified man known as the Cardiff Giant out of gypsum? He then buried it. Then he discovered it. People paid to see it. Scientists debated it. And he sold the whole thing for a fortune before the truth came out. The only one to get away with it. So he carved this statue, dug a hole, buried the statue, and it was like, hey guys, I think I found something.
Again, back in the day, do whatever you want. Get away with it. It's like P.T. Barnum status. I've heard of the Cardiff Giant before, and that's like right up there with like, like the Fiji Mermaid, and the P.T. Barnum like the freak show or whatever. Sorry, sideshow stuff. Right? It's like half of it. Like people want to believe, people want to go to be wowed. Right?
Sure.
But then, but also a lot of it's your friends and neighbors. Right? Like old Donnie from down the block. It's like, sure, 2 bits of gander. It's like, I don't know. This looks like something he's carved for me in the past. But is this real? Like,
yeah, but if you carve it out of like something like gypsum, like it's kind of, especially pre-carbon dating, like it's kind of hard to be like, that's a fake. I don't know. Like that's beautiful. I've wanted to do this, just like in my own woods with like some kind of like UFO thing. You know what I mean? Like, because the people who want to believe are gonna believe, even if you try to prove them wrong. Just like the flat earthers, you can present them evidence, they don't care, they're invested. So you get the investors.
You could be the Cecil County Bigfoot.
I'm down with that too. The Susquehanna Swamp Man. That's what I'm going for.
I don't know. I think the moral of the story here is, back in the day, it's just like, do you think you had to like just keep your head on a swivel because like everybody was trying to like swindle you out of like the 2 nickels that you had to rub together on your way to the new world?
I do want to put a pause in your back in the day thing because I just got some bad news on my phone here, O'Reilly. Apparently an uncle, you never knew him. He died in South Africa. His inheritance is yours. I'm just gonna need your social security number and a routing number to your bank account. All that money's yours. People still fall for this shit. We had a story. How many years ago is this now, Wes? The astronaut who needed landing fees and conned that woman in Japan?
Circa 2023, I believe. Yeah. He told her that he needed space landing fees and she needed help.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Historically, like if you want to focus on the ones that are going down today, especially, with the elderly, like it's preying on vulnerable, lonely people, which takes all the fun out of it, I guess.
Oh, and then I can't remember her name, but that female Steve Jobs lady that claimed that like she could spin your blood and cure everything. And she talked like this for some reason and wore turtlenecks. And yeah,
the turtlenecks, they're a little too tight.
Like scams still happen. Bernie Madoff, I mean.
No. These are like. Yes, I understand scams still happen. It happen. I get 20 fucking calls a day about it. But like, at least like it's a little more whimsical. Back then when they're like, here's a made up country, or here's a statue, or a petrified man. Not like, I forged the fucking FedEx website, and now I've got your identity stolen. Like, but yes, I guess it still sucks to go all the way to Central America in 1906 on the word of some guy you met in a pub. So yeah, I guess maybe a little. Just times are different. You're right. I'm back around here.
Let's go bid our dream home. Let's bid our dream home, Nancy. And then you can get poison darts through the fucking neck by some fucking natives. Yeah, had a good day.
Got plenty of lumber here.
Fucking boa day one.
No, you get strangled by a boa. And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Good hoaxes. Tonight on Before You Go, man arrested after dressing as Grim Reaper on hospital roof and staring as patients. That's right. The 26-year-old man was fined 200 pounds by magistrates. So 26-year-old man has been arrested after dressing up as a Grim Reaper and climbing on the roof of a Welsh hospital to stare at staff and visitors. North Wales Police and North Wales Fire and Rescue Services were called after the man dressed in a black hooded outfit was seen overlooking the entrance at... Murray, you told me not to read it, but I'm going to. Yesbit Glan Quoud Hospital at St. Asfast, Denbighshire on Saturday, June 6th.
Asfast?
So, I mean, we talked earlier about a good practical joke. Is this just a good practical joke gone wrong, gone too far? I still think it's funny.
I don't even think it went too far.
Not far enough. He wasn't in the hospital. It's a little different if he's like walking in people's rooms,
Maybe it's a
I mean,
trespassing
He's looking
thing,
for his
you know,
car
like,
in
you
the
can't be on
parking
roof.
deck.
Right.
that's fair. Trespassing, maybe. But, like, is it in poor taste? Yes.
Oh, for sure.
But
Is it worth 200 pounds? Maybe.
I think so. I do think so. But no, imagine like you broke your leg and you're being wheeled in. You look up, it's hilarious. Comedy is subjective. Now, if Grammy chokes on a dog treat because she's trying to feed Fifi with her teeth, like, all right, maybe you're gonna be a little sad. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a good fucking joke, man. I don't care. I don't think comedy should be put to punishment.
I equate this. You know the guy who dresses up as a plant and scares people when they're walking.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Once in a while, you get some asshole who's like legitimately pissed off and arguing with him and wants to know what he's doing and yada yada yada. Okay, I see this. I laugh. There's going to be assholes who are like, no, what you doing up there? Call security. And it really just boils down to people not, taking life way too seriously, not being able to have a sense of humor.
But it's all about.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I bet, a lot of those people, I don't know how many people saw him, but like, if you're at the end, like a little practical joke is going to, if I was on a ventilator, just laying there staring at like, reruns of Judge Judy, and I saw that, I'd be like, that would be the brightness in my day. Not the fucking Jell-O cup and the sponge ball. Maybe the sponge bath, but
if you're on your deathbed, now I know. Now I know what to do. Now I know the practical joke to play.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, here's a question.
It's what he would have wanted.
If there's a bunch of little kids with cancer, do you send the Undertaker in for a Make-A-Wish?
He sent Carlito and a bag of apples.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh,
no, but,
okay. Yes, it's different if he goes to a children's hospital.
They don't realize. But this is always going to be hilarious because I don't think anybody else gets it. And I don't know, some people at work said I'm an asshole for thinking this, but two places at Halloween they like to decorate. There's the hospice place, and they always put like little ghosts outside. I was like, are those future self-portraits of the patients? And then the other one is the it's like what is it? The little Einstein's place. They always put a bus, and in the window are ghost children. I'm like, that's the darkest fucking Halloween decoration I've ever seen in my life. I think they think it's cute, and I'm like, this is the most horrifying imagery you could ever post for the public to fucking witness. Yeah. So yeah, the Grim Reaper on a hospital. Where else is that funny? Only there. Period.
Yeah, but
let him off.
The classic sheet and like 2 holes for eyes ghost, always going to be adorable. Now you got to watch out for the sheet with the 1 hole. Dangerous.
Unless you're Jewish.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
I do wonder if maybe if he had dressed up more like again, this is the photo. Look, hold on. Given the world that we live, this is the best that we could get.
That's beautiful
right there. I mean,
that's great. That's the best use of grainy security footage ever. I've never wanted nothing to be in 4K less.
I guess I just wanted to see more Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I just
Sure,
want to see more
understood.
of that.
Did he paint his face? Right. Like, that's at this point, that's just a fucking robe.
That's
just I mean, he could just
That's
say, I'm
low
a guy on a
effort.
roof.
I'm now disappointed.
I've got eczema. I can't be in the sun too long, all right? What do you want?
Yeah, it could be a powder situation.
That's right.
It's a running theme.
Well,
see? You got to keep to the theme.
Hey, by the way, before we hop off here, Murr, I feel like we owe it to ourselves because I haven't checked in a while on tickleourtummies@gmail.com, which is the official Middle Class Holes email. Keith has sent a couple. I feel like we got to read these, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, he took the time
Long-time listener. constant contributor via tickleourtummies@gmail.com. Keith Kern, we appreciate it. I'm going to read these as these come in. So this is dated back in May 4th. That's on me. Hello, boys. I was hearing your stories each week. I was interested when one of the hosts was asking a completely hypothetical question about a father introducing the son to adult content. I'm sure the host was assuming the son was of legal age because they would never discuss potential acts that could be considered contributing to the delinquency of a minor. So, Murr, I think this had to do with you and William, and maybe they're like just talking about, porn, possibly.
No, I've never introduced them to any kind of.
You haven't. We were talking about the possibility of it.
Like, how's that conversation gonna go? Well, son.
I think I was talking about like So back in the day, I'm trying to drag some memories out of my fucking hardening brain cells here. I think I was talking about how back in the day, like we had like the J.C. Penney magazine, right? And so it was like a more innocent way, and now you've got so
yeah. Right. There's something like, it's like we romanticize like finding like an old Playboy, and like there's the soft lighting and like a chiffon curtain, and it's like cheeky, but like now it's just like
yes. And so I think I was talking about how, like, listen, buddy, I know you're going to be looking for this stuff. Here's what I'd like you to watch. And it's like a little bit of like some barely legal softcore stuff, and like leading him down that path, which could be considered contributing to the delinquency of a minor. But it could also be a dad trying to keep him from watching a banana inverted banana split. You know what I mean?
I thought you were gonna say like some classics, like a Debbie Does Dallas, like, son, you gotta know, as a film buff, you gotta know the classics, or as a storyteller, you want one with a plot, but no, you went straight to Barely Legal.
Yeah, it's the first example I could think of. Hey, here's a copy of Porky's. Enjoy.
Classic. See?
By the way, he goes on to say, side note about building codes and inspections. These are needed to make sure the work is being done safely and prevent visitors or future occupants of the home or office from being killed by the previous dumbass owners who didn't want to pay for the inspection fees. Shove that up your fun facts. Don't recall the context, but
yeah.
By the way, he did send another one, July 29th. So only, 3 weeks-ish out. So I feel a little bit less guilty about detailing a longtime listener's contribution to the show. Hey, fellas, hope you're enjoying your summer. Have you read the diaries leaked from our savior of the world, Dr. Fauci? I was thinking back some of those COVID day shows, and Murr seemed to catch a lot of gruff from the co-hosts, myself and Alan. We've learned a lot about COVID over the years, since I was curious if anyone ever acknowledged that some of those crazy right-wing conspiracies were actually accurate. I love bashing his wild business ideas. I felt the need to stick up for him for this one once and for all.
Finally. Thank you, Keith. I genuinely mean this, Keith. Thank you. Because it's not often, especially in the world of anything that we've witnessed over the last decade or so, that anybody finds out some new information. It's like, hey, my bad about that. You were right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what you would throw into the pool as a wild right-wing conspiracy. Revolving around COVID.
See, this is the thing, is I'm so fucking gun shy. Like, I don't even want to say like the one thing, but like,
I don't think. Okay, hold on. Let me, because I don't think the Wuhan leak is a right-wing conspiracy.
Not now.
I think that's just a humanity conspiracy.
Plausible. Yeah,
but
that's just government dumbassery.
But at the time, if you mentioned it, it was a problem for some people. The ivermectin thing, that seemed to be like the biggest point of contention between me and Alan. And I wasn't even saying ivermectin worked. I was just saying, like, we should try the kitchen sink treatments on things. And, the whole Joe Rogan horse paste, like that that one was like just the contentious back and forth of like where I felt like I was on my heels. Like, I'm not saying it works. I'm saying, why not try everything if we don't know what works and that doesn't hurt you? So that one, to me, that specific episode, I don't know. You probably remember that a little bit, Wes.
But they did try it and it doesn't work.
But
I'm not going down to Murdoch's to.
But at the time we had
creams.
at the time we had the conversation, it was not. It had not been studied yet. And my whole point was, whether it works or doesn't work, there's legitimate scientists out there saying that this is a potential prophylactic. So let's give it a go. And then I was like, no, Dr. Fauci says it will never work. And you are a fucking moron with low IQ.
See, like, I sometimes think this is like not recency bias, but more like regional bias when they want to point the finger to Fauci. Fauci's one of like hundreds of people like him in other countries.
He's
Absolutely.
the figurehead.
And
Wes is making my point.
And I don't like it doesn't necessarily like pointing to something like ivermectin where the manufacturer was telling you, no, don't use this to kill COVID. Where like this is where I sometimes draw the line on like right wing conspiracy. Like, hey, we're the right wing. We're promoting or suggesting these things, and if you deny it, you're telling us this is like, oh, it's coming from the right. We don't want to hear it. Like I looked at a lot of this stuff just as like a public health thing. It doesn't have to be right or left.
No, you're right. But but at the time, anybody who introduced an argument that was anything but vaccination was considered that. And I mean like Democrats, like that were scientists that had alternative perspectives on this, were then labeled right-wing conspiracists. And that was a legitimate thing that happened. And you know, they have since, quote unquote, been vindicated, but only been vindicated amongst the people that they got sidelined to, not amongst the people who actually sidelined them. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
And so, yeah, you know, listen, I hold no grudges. It was a weird topsy-turvy time, and I just hope we all learned something from it. But as far as Fauci being like, yes, one of, I'm not going to say millions, but one of hundreds of people in that similar position, I think because he's the American and the Americans have the money for science and development and such, like, he's almost like this cartel leader or this mob boss that's like, we're not going to say that, we're going to say this. He's like the Trump of the medical community. And so,
sure. Well, he's the face. He's, you know, somebody's got to be the face, and when you're the face, sometimes you're the fall guy.
But I think it's not even that he's the fall guy. I think it's like he was actually up to some fucking, I'm not going to say criminal enterprise, but I'm going to say criminal enterprise with how these things were shaken out.
I mean, look, I'm not like defending any individuals here, but I think overall, like, we've got systemic issues when, like, you know, we already got those labs in Ukraine. That was a conspiracy until it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the lab in Wuhan. It's like, why? You know, it's just like we got 500 bases all around the world, and then it's like, oh, in addition to that, we've got germ, you know, research facilities in like gray areas all over. Like, it's just not great to begin with, right? I don't know.
Well,
sorry.
You know what? This actually comes back to the start of the show. It's the fucking referees fucking not wanting to overturn their own fucking calls. That's
Boom.
what this all comes back to. Now, like, it's not gain of function. It's genetic modification. Like, yeah, all right, buddy. Like, fuck you.
I'm to that end. I can't wait to be like back to a period of time where I don't have to hear everybody's scientific thoughts, you know, that's like never picked up a book in their life. Like, I'm tired of people hearing like things like gain of function and, you know, and then just like, cause I'll tell you right now, like, I consider myself a smart person. I have not been following a lot of that, and I don't know what gain of function means, but I'm not like going to use it like I say it, or like I know it, right?
Unfortunately, I know what it means because of all this horseshit. But no, Wes, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
I think part of my frustration back when COVID was, full frontal, but going on 5 and 6 years ago, was that, people who I was friends with on social media, who I hadn't seen in 20 years, all of a sudden out of the woodwork, read a few things and were,
everybody's a fucking virologist.
In their eyes, they're enlightened and bringing up these questions that had been answered over and over and over again, just not to their liking, and it just got frustrating. It got incredibly frustrating. And I don't deem that as right-wing conspiracy. I just deem that as social media fucking gish galloping.
The only caveat I want to maybe, I'm not correcting you or anything, but I do feel like anybody who did not conform to the narrative that was being pitched especially by Fauci, there was others too, but they were categorized as right-wing conspiracy theorists. Not saying that they were, but that's what they were categorized as to dismiss them, they're fools, they're misinformationers or malinformationers,
Sure.
That's the scariest word that came out of the entire thing. Malinformation. True facts that are not helpful right now. This isn't convenient, the things you're saying that are true. That's
we're also
fucking dangerous.
In a post-truth era, right?
Yeah, we learned a lot. I hope we learned a lot about ourselves through that. I'm not holding any grudges. I'm not grabbing a pitchfork and a torch.
Sure.
But listen, go back and listen to some of those. I was coming at. You know what I'm saying?
I had to go back and look at the transcripts. I do believe there was one where you said the vaccine was causing cancer.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I know.
Tail of the tape.
All right.
I know I did not say that. You can go back and look at all the transcripts. I would never have said that. I've always been in the bucket of skepticism of what was being told by any side. So I would have never said causes cancer.
Here's another thing with my frustration is that, okay, we go to the round table and you want to draw up where the skepticism lies, okay? And let's kick the most extreme ones from each side down, out of the conversation pile. Something like, okay, the vaccines have chips in them. Tracking chips. Okay.
The 5G.
We don't
the tracking device.
We're not going to discuss that. And then what have you from the far left? But then when you got into the discussion pile with people who had a voice, a la social media, it was like, well, why aren't you considering my agenda? Why aren't you considering this? I'm like, because I don't want to, man. Because I really don't want to.
Remember the magnet? That was the craziest one. Is it yeah. The vaccine was causing magnetism or some shit. I don't know what the fuck that was.
You talk about hoaxes, Christ! What do they call those? Dowsers.
Dowser.
Dowsers is a term for someone who thinks they have magnetism. They can put spoons.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Dowsers. I think it's
Some people have sticky skin. That's what that is. That's all it is.
It's a high humidity area.
I mean, some ethnicities are oilier than others, and some people have an oily skin base, and things will stick to them temporarily. But yeah, no. But the whole watch this spoon sticks to my left arm where I got the shot. Jesus Christ.
So, and that's why we don't have to listen to everybody's opinion.
Yes, 100%. No, but I mean, I do think this is my final conspiracy. I do think they really wanted to get this mRNA style of delivery system through without 5 years of human trials, because now there's a new flu vaccine that uses the mRNA technology. So they got what they wanted. They wanted to pass it through. They got it done.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I'll agree. I'll agree with you on the on the idea that there were and still are vaccines for COVID that aren't mRNA. Novavax has one. Johnson & Johnson had one, and that's part of the problem with this like rush to conclusion stuff. Now, are they effective? I don't know. I don't know anything about Novavax. It's out of Korea, I believe. I know the Johnson & Johnson one was wildly ineffective, but like some of this could have been cured with a lot of common sense, and we were all stuck in our houses, and common sense kind of eluded us because, for at least for my own anecdotal experience, I was drinking heavily.
I was having Bloody Mary contests every day. How could I get one more piece of garnish on there? Get a little Vienna sausage here, piece of bacon there, a crab leg there.
Here's what I'll say: the pandemic, I profited from the pandemic because I'm not kidding. Because of the essential worker that I was, I never missed a paycheck. I was never laid off. Apparently this deadly killer wasn't enough to stop the mail service. So I had to go in every day. By the way, I did get the vaccine and 1 booster, so I had 3 shots. I also got the government checks that came in. So like I just made money. My life didn't change except for having to wear a gaiter over my face that apparently was never intended to work in the first place. So, but I think that's the folly that we need to study and look at moving forward and learn from, is that lying because you think it's helpful will eventually make the next thing down the line less effective moving forward. Like that's why I think Fauci should at least answer questions, at least the ones pertaining to his, blanket immunity. If you got to throw some people under the bus, then do it. Throw all administrations under the bus. Throw Trump under the bus. Throw fucking Biden under the bus. Throw everyone under the bus. But answer the fucking questions so that when we need absolute truth moving forward, it can be trusted. Because if truth is not truth, then it's not truth.
And okay, if you're not going to do it for, I'll say us, the blanket of us 3 here, middle-aged men, fine. Because like it sucked. It sucked for everyone. Honestly, I've always felt bad for anyone who was a child going through that, losing a year and a half of your youth. You know what I mean? Someone who was in high school who potentially could have won a state championship. Andrew, what was William? 7, 8?
Let's see. So 14. So he's 6. He was 6 in 2020. So 6, 7. 6, 7.
But like, my point is, you like, okay, we lost a year of our adulthood. Okay, it sucked, but we have the rest of our lives to be adults. You don't have the rest of your life to be a kid or an adolescent or a teenager.
Just like critical social bonding, learning years for kids. Like,
if you're not going to answer,
it gets
for
worse
us,
and worse.
Answer for them.
Right. Agreed. Because, we're seeing, like, there's every year, right? They're like, millennials in the workplace, Gen Z in the workplace. And now it's like people are like less and less social, less and less, like where people can't even handle an in-person, interaction with a coworker without being weird. So that is going to be a bigger mess to handle societally, I think. And that does suck.
Go to a Chuck E. Cheese with a medical mask on and see how you feel.
I'm in. They still serve beer at Chuck E. Cheese or what?
No, not the one I go to. Not in Bel Air, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Gosh, I mean, thinking about that, like, that's got to be. Forget about the Wuhan lab. Forget about the wet markets. Like the ball pit at the Bel Air Chuck E. Cheese.
No. Ball pits are done. Like, they realized that is a haven for disease long before COVID, so they got rid of that.
Bummer, man. That is all the time we have on the Middle Class Holes. You can check us out on all your social media platforms at the Middle Class Holes, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. You can also email us at tickleourtummies@gmail.com. We got Alan coming back next week. Old Raleigh, we'll probably get you on the week after that. Man, summer's dwindling down. Holidays around the corner.
We're about to have a crossover reunion. Alan is going to be here in Denver. We're going to the Orioles game on Monday.
Shit.
Yeah.
Film the shenanigans.
Record a remote bit for you.
Do it. Because I think people think you and him are the same one on the logo, so that'll help.
I love it when a logo doesn't have to change, right? I just feel more involved.
Brand stays the same, baby. All right.
Consistency.
We will see y'all next week. Take her easy.